Good morning, good morning, good morning, Salon. Good morning to those in the diaspora. Charles mostly is the smile this morning because the lecture will continue. And I keep a surprise actually. Yesterday I deliberate say we only could discuss briefly on Egypt, the history. What see I keep behind, is that we go elaborate on the brief history of Egypt, but we associate this with slavery, in relation to slavery. Egypt in relation to slavery. There is a reason why Charles Musli's why hits this topic in this angle. Because most of the general topics that we don't conversate about, a conversation, excuse me, pronunciation, based on Africa. The migrations of people then, even starting with Mali, how people then become captives, end up being slaves, end up being transported to the European, world, So we don't hit some of their phases there, and I believe say we need for start outside the main business begin, which is Egypt. If we forget Egypt, that means all what they talk about, mean nothing because we forget about the foundation, So now we hit this nail right today, inshallah, by Allah in grace, because myself want to make sure say everything what it disseminates to una understand. And for those of you who have joined me so far this morning, good morning once more. I tell you thank you, for giving me una time, for also waking up. And some of you waiting at the diaspora, I know some not sleep it, and I wanna time this for almost the sleep, but when I still engage or they try for see what in Charles Muslims get for say. And hopefully I go make sure say it beneficial. So now we start with Egypt immediately. And after this program today, people are kind of interested in Charles Muslims in story them. And what's in Charles Muslims to go through. But all that story they are, or them in life experience there, I can tell you that. Not to for defame or spoil my siblings there or my family members there. Now for just try for elaborate on how an individual can able for endure, for bear, for go through struggles, stay God in time reach, no matter the condition. And I get for elaborate small on something different, maybe hopefully today, they see clearly, and this not just for me, just in case your own family member or your papa or whatsoever they into power now or in the foreseeable future. If you go for face 10 things they are, you go be warned. Or, somebody go down, enlighten you small. So let me start with Egypt. This morning it's all about Egypt. So let the nail continue. We'll continue for hammer the nail go down, First and foremost, history they tell we say, Egypt's one of the oldest civilizations them in the world or on earth. Egypt obtained one of the oldest civilization, the oldest. What in that mean for the person we don't understand that? The oldest civilization. That means Egypt, now one of the places than this, whose people begin for live or history able for take we as far back, we can tell we see now people start for inhabit. People begin for live. And this civilization starts for take place. We don't know much of other places them. But whose history can relate to is Egypt. Now let we continue. And they beget few names them or different names them for this place. Egypt. But it's not what in the white man say. Let's tell you first what in the white man say about Egypt. It said they used for call Egypt the red land. It said they used for call and first the red land. What's the white man say? It said because of the floods them. The water, the flood where they come up from the ocean, from the Nile River, where they can the land. I guess the coloration of the remains make the place look reddish. So they used to call it the red land. A lie. Now we continue. Then they also claim that they used to call this place the black land. The black land. I want to accept the word black for certain reason, but not so based on their own definition. How this name come about. Then say the black land It come about because of, again, the coloration of the desert, the sand, we obtain this reddish color. And also the land around this Nile River. Again, where the water can they go back or they reside back now the ocean, where the water can don't come, meets the land, and the water go back, the land they turn to black. The flood they make the land turn to black or whatsoever. So now that's make the use for color the black land because of the coloration of the land where the water don't receded back going to the ocean. And that's a lie. Was that the true fine for talk? Now be the black land because black people are then forced inhabit Egypt. I want to make clear now listen carefully to what it tells Muslims they say. And I will take me time keenly, slowly, gradually for you to understand. Black people now then forced inhabit Egypt. Whether they be used for calling the black land or whatsoever land, but now we first, and I go prove unto now as we progress. Another city with a name, or the first city inside Egypt, was Memphis. Memphis. And when I don't say this state here, also this name, it is inside America. Memphis. That'll be the first city inside Egypt, the capital city. What's in Egypt be famous for? For religious practices and also trade. That'll be business money. Also, that'll be religious individuals. Okay. What's to make Egypt famous? Again, the great monuments, the tombs, the temple, the artwork, all them things they celebrate the life, we stand also as a remembrance of these great people here. And it also show how mortal man they be they at their best for create. Also, the possibility or the capability of achievement. All this be they take place inside Egypt or the black land. So black people in first be they reside. Okay, now let me continue. Ancient Egypt. And we talk of now the ancient first before we begin go to the other them. But I'm not going to be able to elaborate on all the variables them. But I'm going to make sure you now understand. The ancient Egypt. What's in they associates this ancient Egypt with? With death. With death. Now they associate ancient Egypt with. For die. Also, the mortuary rites. How they use for, bury them people there. Sometimes they go put you inside the mortuary for a long time period because they get certain belief. Certain belief. Okay. And also them belief they are, if you don't know sin that be we own people them belief they are, now for speak to the dead people them, for talk to the ancestors them. What the Egyptian then be they try for communicate with some people them. We're not so try because them be believing this, so I believe say be possible. Because they continue for practice this. For try for communicate with their dead ancestors them. Also, now be a power and the purpose for remembrance. That be a powerful thing and the purpose now for remembrance. Whether they still be they continue this practice or whose people them? Exactly. The Africans. The Africans they still continue this practice even though they migrate come up from Egypt. Because not to just migrate, they migrate, then drive them come on Egypt. Now Whirlpool and they begin migrate go Darfur, East Africa. That area then they will people and go reside where they run away from Egypt. Why make them run away from Egypt? I'm gonna make you understand this as well. And believe say the Bible, all what's in the Bible entail and what's in a copy from the practice of the Egyptians them, or the ancient Egyptians them, the black people them. Because the black people them also be believe say where you die there's heaven and hell. If you do good, you go heaven. If you do bad, you go hell. They be believing that you go in paradise. And when you go in paradise, you go meet your loved ones then the one they will also make in a heaven. You go meet there and all go live in peace. They be believing that. So the Bible not just come into existence through the white people them, as we can say, the Europeans them, then copy all this from the ancient time of the blacks. inside Egypt. Now let me continue about Egypt again. We get ancient Egypt, we say history able for start with. Then we get the Greek rule. And before I continue for elaborate some variables here, I'll make sure I know what's going to take place inside Egypt. Now be a conquest. A conquest meaning that if you feel like say you're powerful enough or you're strong enough, you can go inside Egypt, you go conquer without a rule. You back go sit on the power. If the next person back thinks he's able to conquer you, in back can conquer you, can rule inside Egypt. So now be a whole bunch of conquerors then will conquer Egypt. Not so just one tribe or one people then. Different sets of people then come for conquer Egypt. I'll make you understand this. So let me continue. We get the ancient Egypt. We get the Greek rule. We get the Roman Egypt. We get the earlier Islamic Egypt. We get the late medieval Egypt. And the medieval Egypt means the middle age. The 10th don't begin to go middle. You know, we get the Ottoman Egypt. We get the Muhammad Ali dynasty inside Egypt. Then we also get the British Protectorate inside Egypt from 1852 to 1952. What's in the British man and go do inside Egypt? All this we go talk. But mind you, before the British man be going inside Egypt, the French they be done first on work inside Egypt. Yes, I will elaborate on that. Then after the British man, we get the Republic or the Republicans of Egypt, which that's come about 1953. The Republic of Egypt. Again, the word what they specifically use as the black land, where relate to the Egyptians them, na Kemet, with the K-E-M-E-T. Now be this word, people can be used for refer Egypt as the Kemet people them, or the Kemet's place. The Kemet's place meaning the black land. But as time progressed, that's changed. By who? The Greeks them. But we go hit that when we reach it. So Egypt, it gets a long and a wealthy history. A long and a wealthy history. Due to the flow from the Nile River. And when I know say this Nile River, now one of the longest river this in Africa. The Nile River. And one of the longest river this in Africa. They say due to the Nile River, Egypt became wealthy, fertile, become the bank and a delta. Now we continue. And also Egypt, parts of the people that were inhabit inside Egypt also get outside influencers. That means not just the people were there inside Egypt, but the neighboring people also, maybe people that still they exist inside the East Africa area then. Because I did the Nile River there, then Darfur area there. You know, then Rwanda area there. You know. So all the area there, I believe, say still black people they reside there, maybe they complement Egypt for growth. Because now compliments, they complement them for develop. Now let me continue. Say among the 7 wonders of the ancient world, one of the greatest things what Egypt also creates, was still remarkable up to now. Now the pyramid of Giza, the pyramid. But there's a controversy based on this pyramid. We're going to hit and we'll reach there also. Ancient Egypt. What thing people can do, or we write them, even at their online pages, them Google, etc., etc. Even now, if they search for information, then go they misspell or put the wrong date for just confuse you. They do that up to now. For make sure say you confuse, you not get the right information. So the ancient Egypt, one put on to a date specifically, starting 310 to 332 BC. That means before Christ. 310 to 332 BC. Where what's in them posts on side, then puts 3100 to 332. To me, that's not make sense. It go be 3,100. That means you don't go 3,100 and the end not 332. So I guess to me, not 332. To me, on common sense, 332. So that's wrong. So to me, on clarification, not 310 to 332. But now let me continue. Around, 3150 BC, again before Christ, 3150 BC, there was a word we then call the Coalescence, with the Coalesce. Difficult small for pronounce. But this word, in meaning, it states that around 3150 BC, the Egyptians they harmonized together. And this word means the coalescence. Means they unite together. They come as a whole, they collect all the masses together for come as a whole. Why? Based on political unifications. So the upper Egypt, the lower Egypt, they all harmonize together, for certain reasons. For their own political unifications. Because I believe, say, they be don't see threats. They be don't see threats they come. They be no say conquerors in the camp. So this unification, it be necessary. So, under the first king will rule Egypt, the first dynasty. Now, Namar, with the Narmer. Namar, the first dynasty inside Egypt. And they lasted until the conquest of, another difficult word for pronounce, the Achaemenid, with the Achaemenid. Achaemenid. The Achaemenid Empire then come around the 6th century and conquered the first dynasty inside Egypt. The 6th century, again before Christ. They conquer, the first king inside Egypt. Inside 332 BC, again, the Macedonia ruler, and this is a great man who won back for no, the great Alexander the Great. So even inside America, the city I grew up in, the Alexandria city. So you see the American man and thief, most of the city names, or states names them from Egypt. So the Macedonian ruler will not be Alexander the Great. He might go and conquer Egypt. They go and conquer Egypt. Say the Achaemenid Empire, they conquer Egypt. Then, Alexander Imbakam, he conquer Egypt. Where he conquer Egypt, but it not last long inside Egypt. Not last long inside Egypt. It not to say, the Macedonian Empire, falls short, which gave a rise to the Hellenistics. Again, the word stem, difficult for pronounce, but this now a name also with the Ptolemaic, with the Ptolemaic kingdom. Ptolemaic. They spell it in a different way, with the also Ptolemies. This also kingdom, or then conquerors there, then back come and move Macedonia in troops them. Alexander the Great. Move them come out of Egypt. So because Alexander the Great also not be able to last there for long, and without they move them out, guess who that? A young general will be get in the Alexander the Great. A young general will be get just like Adumbuya move, Alpha Conde. So a young general will be get move the Macedonian armies them, for many get out of Egypt. And the battle continue. And then one day now, the Ptolemies or the Ptolemaics, they end up for go through several wars them with the people that were inhabit inside Egypt. To civil war. Also they get foreign wars them. Because neighbors them also they dispute some people they have for go control Egypt. So I believe say the East Africans will also be the complement the Egyptians. For this battle. So they fed some people here, and as time progress, also then stop for lead. Then power decline inside Egypt. Totally decline. Then in order to take Cleopatra in back can rule. I know someone know about Cleopatra. But the death of Cleopatra ended the role of the independence of Egypt. What's in that to me? Again, the death of Cleopatra ended the role of the independence of Egypt. So all this time, Egypt say they, get conquest them or conquerors them, they can for conquer Egypt. Finally, Cleopatra can also take power, but it died, through in tenure. And when it died, the role as Egypt be independent, and this word independent was a falsified, a mockery towards Egypt, because Egypt not be ever independent. Not be ever independent. They use a certain word, what they call the nominal, with the Nominal. Nominal, I think so we need to begin to use that, now with contemporary world, time frame. Nominal. Nominal, the word means, now a role or a status, what they give you, but you don't get any authority. They can make you a king or a queen, but you still not get authority. They can make you a president, for simplifying, but you not get authority. So now that's what take place inside Egypt. Rulers them they come, but still not get authority over Egypt, because the conflict to be enormous. The people that inhabit the land, Tenkam, they're not able for all power. Now different conqueror that they come can obtain power. So peace not be there. It not be easy for things become peaceful. Now let me continue. So resulting in it, what's in all results now to Egypt becoming a Roman Empire eventually, because after Cleopatra and death, Egypt became a Roman Empire. The Roman people then go there or conquer Egypt and control Egypt. Became a Roman Empire. All this happened before Christ. Now let me continue. Again, after the late medieval, the medieval, again, the Middle Age. Now that's medieval mean, the Middle Age. Between the Roman Empire and the Renaissance. The medieval age now, this is between the Roman Empire and the Renaissance. Okay, taking it into Egypt again, in order to say after the Roman Empire and the Renaissance, without it came into existence again, the Ottoman Empire. The Ottoman Empire. The Ottoman Empire came into existence, but the no last day, then they did until 1867. 1867. So this now we don't come out from the BCs to the AD, now we talk of 1867. So I believe now we talk of after Christ. So the Ottoman Empire controlled Egypt after the Roman Empire now in the Renaissance system. The Ottoman Empire ruled Egypt until 1867. Until 1867, except, they say history states that except during the French occupation from 1798 to 1801. This time flop me months. And this war they are not like an occupation. Except during the French occupation inside Egypt. Now who's work gonna go there for go do? One of them Frenchmen here. If not to go observe, understanding people here, create conflict within them people here, set fire them or whatsoever, and later you come, you dominate them. Or I believe saying and then give also the British man in the loophole, say yanda na so yanda deo, na so yanda deo. So that's give the British man, the ability for go conquer also. So around 1798, the French they be done inside Egypt. But then come out there around 1801, as history stated. 1801. So the Ottoman Empire exists until 1867. So around 1867, Egypt again became a nominal. A nominal again, the fake independent state. Independent, or maybe the ruler, who they think say he obtained authority, but it's not really obtained the authority. A nominal. But Egypt became independent also. And then call the new Egypt as the Khedivate Egypt with the Khedivate of Egypt. Now this then referring to during that time frame the Khedivate of Egypt around 1867. However, this Caliphate, fell under the British control. This Caliphate, after they don't feel like they don't get the independence around 1867. They don't feel independent, create a new colony as the Caliphate of Egypt. Not too long, the British man come for control them around 1882, following the Anglo-Egyptian War. So the British man come around 1882, can't try for colonize them, but Stemba go use this word occupation. Following the Anglo-Egyptian War. And this Anglo-Egyptian War, now based on the Abyssinians, or the Abyssinians, which is the native Egyptians where they live inside Egypt, the upper and the lower Egyptians will still be the first themselves based on civil matters them, and also those where they fight or rebel against the British them. And I believe also before the French then left, a rebellion also take place, but not even states that in history. Because the French did not just go there in peace and come out in peace. I don't believe in that. Because all man be they conquer, go exploit. Slavery now be a significant thing in those days. The more slaves that you get, the more powerful you are. And all man be the fetch for wealth. But do not elaborate on that. But let me continue. So after World War I and the following Egyptian revolution again, after World War I and the following Egyptian revolution of 1919, the kingdom of Egypt was established. Again, where this kingdom, how many times did they establish? Now, so our Egypt be corrupt. The corruption be beaucoup inside Egypt. After World War I, let's repeat this again, and the following Egyptian revolution, another revolution inside Egypt of 1990, the kingdom of Egypt was established again. And while they established them, don't forget, say, before this establishment again, they be done first established again previously, the Caliphate. The Caliphate, the British man come and colonize them. They can't take control in around 1882. Then they follow the Anglo-Egyptian War. And what that war they follow, or that continue also with World War I, that be a different war. The Anglo-Egyptian War, but they take place as well. Then the Egyptian Revolution can exist around 1919. What's in happen again? When they say Egypt become independent, the United Kingdom still retained control over Egypt. Still around 1990. The United Kingdom still retained control over Egypt based on what's in their foreign affairs, them, their defense, and other matters, them. So the United Kingdom, but they protect. When I make them use this word, any outside them in the go to Africa, they specifically use this word, the protectorate. Feeling like they can for protect them, and while they protect we for pay them Levi, they pay them tax. So now they don't go inside Egypt. They offer them on their defense and also involved in their foreign affairs them and other matters them. Then we call una for help them? No. But they can't demand, they can by force say they can colonize una and una for pay for protection. And that's what they take place with the Europeans. So now let me continue. And again, they emphasize say the British occupation lasted until 1954. But that's not to be true. They continue for say again, the British occupation, the British man occupation lasted until 1954. Then we couldn't go to inside Egypt. With the Anglo-Egyptian Agreement of 1954, listen again, with the Anglo-Egyptian Agreement of 1954. So this agreement now between the upper and the lower Egyptians them, or the natives them where they inhabit inside Egypt, and now they try to get an agreement with some colonial masters there. Now we continue. Agreements come around 1954. But the agreement be able for make the British man left Egypt? No. Then begin for reside small, but they not be left. You know what's the British man do? They try to implement democracy. Try to show them the guidelines them of democracy. Well, in order to say, Egypt gets their first president. In order to say, they get their first president. President Gamal Abdel Nasser. Nasser, it's just a Nasser pulling name with a long artist. All man confused about. Some they call him Lebanese, some they call him Pakistan, some they call him Afghanistanis. In the Nasser who gets there. Somebody don't talk, say this man not to Lebanese, no stuff for telling us Lebanese. They say this man are from Pakistan or Afghanistan. And people come up from Afghanistan. You know, so Nasser, you name will mention by this, you know, from history. So President Gamal Abdel Nasser, first Egyptian president from 1956 to 1970. He introduced many reforms them inside Egypt. Try for change the systems them. The other things them be there. He also created a short-lived United Arab Republic. They try for unite the Arab countries them or the coast them. You know, many all united together. Because with experience from the ancient Egypt, they go to the Romans, the Renaissance, take the protectorates and kind inside, conquerors and if you don't tell conquerors and they go inside Egypt to conquer. So I guess for unite the Arab people and together or create a united Arab Republic, you know, among that coast there or around that coast there, it'd be very essential for their security. You know? So it creates that, but that's no last for long. A successor after this first president, Mr. also Anwar Sadat, with the SADAT. In back a rule from 1970 to 1981. It changed also the system. It departs from many of the political and economical policies that would Nasser be done place. All the policies that would Nasser be done place within the political arena or the economic, it makes sure say it change them. Also, he tried to reinstitute a multi-party system. It creates a multi-party system inside Egypt. I guess Denmark also begets a one-party system. Even though then starts with the process of democracy, same thing with Salon. Salon will first start, that be Miltimagai, then APC kind inside, that be a one-party system. But as time progresses, their method change to a multi-party system. So that takes place also inside Egypt. So this man, a rule, you know, from 1970 to 1981, Sadat. What he also do? He led the Egyptians them into war. The Yom Kippur War with the YOMKIPPUR War, 1973, for regain Egypt's land. Now the Sinai Peninsula, which Israel, the Israel people have been occupied since the 6th day of the war when they began inside 1967. So inside 1967, for 6 days, outside the Israeli people and they go reside, I guess they continue for take that land there and send on their own. So this man here, Sadat, he go to war with some people there for that, around 1973, for try for obtain back that land there. And when I now say Egypt and Israel up to now, that conflict they go on. Even lately, when I've been watching Donald Trump be do, where he makes sure say Egypt, I don't know if it be Egypt or Israel would turn to a capital or so. You know, based on his own beliefs. You know, but the Israelites them or the Egyptians them always gets the different system. That's only take place for a very long time. Also including the Jewish people there. The Jewish people there. All them people there are the same people there we inhabit around Israel. So now I make sometimes someone can say Jesus Christ na black man. Because the Romans then, the Greeks them, name it. All man be they dwelled around Egypt. All man want go inside Egypt. If you not go inside Egypt, now like all man the fetch for go inside Babel right now, inside America. We're not going inside Egypt, no work at it. And I go make sure so we understand what we reach to that point see about slavery. So again, the modern Republic of Egypt was founded in 1953. And again, the British money then withdraw their forces them from the Suez Canal in 1956. Finally, in 1956, then withdraw. Since they talk say they go withdraw earlier before then, they not withdraw. Then finally withdraw around 1956, not to 1954. But around 1953, the Republic again was founded. 1954, the agreement for made and left. And they do the Anglo-Egyptian agreement with the colonial masters them. For Lady British money left. So in 1956, the British money withdraw, they left. And then they mark the first time in over 2,500 years where the Egyptians or Egypt become independent. The first time in history, over 2,500 years, where Egypt finally become independent from other invaders them or conquerors them. First time, now the young people now, they control Egypt. First time in history, controlled by the natives. Now let me continue. Egypt and slavery. Now they hit the nail. Now we don't elaborate small on Egypt. Now Egypt and slavery. So that things don't get serious small. Egypt and slavery. Then we get three types of slavery. The cattle slavery or the chattel slavery with the CHATTLE. They get the bonded labor and then they get the forced labor. This chattel slavery, this now be people and where they capture doing war. If war then be the first war, then catch you, then they go sell you. Then go take you in our cities them or other countries them. Then go sell you as slave. They get what's then called the bonded labor them. Then bonded labor they are, now people that will be they selling yourself for be slaves them. Sometimes some they sell them picking them for be slaves them. This be they take place inside Egypt. Starting with the ancient Egyptians them. Also they get what's then called the forced labor. This now people them whether they capture you again, but then go place you inside the military. Inside the military you will go for tour or you will go be a miner. Now they're going to go dig for mine minerals them, diamond or gold. Also they will take in at the quarry, they go find stone them, for extract stones them or limestones them. So now then three forces of slavery there, but they take place. Then three forces of slavery. And the distinction to me are the same thing no more. You get the servant, you get the peasant, you get the slave. But it's not the same thing. So the existence of slavery, it be not only profitable, but it make things easy for them conqueror there for continue for keep power or for obtain power. And also now be the stability of the kingdom. For make the kingdom stable. The more slaves that you get, the more you become powerful, you put them to work, and they can able to achieve more great things to them. And the act of slavery, it grow inside Egypt. Especially inside the military. It strengthen the military forces them. For defend, the Egyptians them. So slaves them from other homeland them, sometimes when they can don't serve for a long time, they can allow them to go back to their country. Some other slaves them. But the people them from Libya and Nubia, the Libya people and the NUBIA people them, they not be the let them go. They make sure they stay in within the territory. So not all black people don't no more become slaves, but you not go understand. Even the white man don't become slave inside Egypt. So something tell me say, this slavery business, before I continue, with the black man first, through ancient Egypt, now we first make the white man become slaves under we. And the time when they begin to still become powerful, the other, tribes there or groups them, the Romans them, the Greeks them, they sit down and they force them, come on, conquer them. Because they don't begin to, conquer with the white color them. So they begin to move with, that's make with the blacks and begin to run and move east. Now East Africa. Now let we continue. I don't understand the story well. One thing they get them to do with their slaves there. I know that method for control them. They promise their slaves there a afterlife. So when you die, you go to heaven. Doctrination. Can't be slave for me willingly. Serve me. When you die, you go to heaven. Can I go see they do? Wait for full people them. Doctrination. So again, people them they allow themselves to be captured. They will not send in there. So man, if they allow himself for me to capture him, they go turn into slave. Why? Because all man be want enter inside Egypt. And like what they say, for going inside America, you need a visa or you passport or whatsoever. For going inside Egypt, you go for fair way. So some man the only way, capture me here. I go to a slave, I go inside Egypt, smart. So some man be the offer himself for be slave. For just enter no more inside Egypt, because he believes say Egypt's a paradise. A paradise. So the Jewish people they also have be slaves there inside Egypt. The Jewish people them. We get the Libyans them when I be slaves. The Jew people then be slaves, etc., etc. Then they capture all man for can serve inside Egypt. And so Egypt be corrupt. So, the slaves there again, whether they bring from foreign lands them, whether they capture from different countries them, it show sign of power. Also now be property them, now be commodity them. And this belief all gets about human quality. Now all they try to believe say, in the eyes of Allah or in the eyes of God, almost man equal. Well, in those days, that perception or that view there, it not be there. Human quality be disregarded totally. You not be property. So now we continue to the 19th century. We don't wrap up. We don't reach to the end. So to the 19th century, the female slaves them, the woman slaves them, whether now you know black or white, they keep them one in there for the wealthy people them, especially for the Turk, the Turk people or the Turkish people them. If you're wealthy. So the middle class, what are the embassies them, are the natives them, them back, but they enjoy them slaves there inside Egypt. So the male and the female Negroes them, the black people there now we don't begin to talk of the black slaves them. They use them for domestic work them inside Egypt. So not so inside America or inside Europe, black man begin for become a domestic worker, yeah? As slaves. It starts inside Egypt. We become domestic workers them inside the Egyptian society. The black slaves there also they use them as German inside Egypt. By the rulers them or different rulers them. Over 30,000 slaves them at different time period exist inside Egypt around the 19th century. Maybe more. White slaves them also. They bring white slaves them. Inside Egypt. For they say now white slaves thing bang bang one, tiggy one. Now, they remove the one there from the east coast of the Black Sea. The east coast of the Black Sea. Now they go remove or pull in white people there. And we'll talk of the Black Sea. Now a merge of the Mediterranean Sea and the Atlantic Ocean. They all two match together. They join some side. They meet up some side. So the Mediterranean Sea and the Atlantic Ocean. Don't forget, Stanley, the Black Sea They between, again, Europe and Asia. The Black Sea. Between Europe and Asia. So, the white man also, they don't conquer them all. The blacks there, I believe now with the black man first conquer them. They make the pay back right now. See, until now starts this, we'll show us sense. Put pepper there now and I hide them. You know, so the white slaves there, now that area they pull them between Europe and Asia. For first and come inside outside Egypt. And you know, say the Black Sea, mostly in salt water. They not be get any fresh things the way they come out of the area then they. You know? So now be a privilege for them anyway for can enjoy what they take place inside Egypt. Because inside Egypt, they near also the Nile River, one of the longest river around Africa. Oh, you know, people are also from East Africa, but they complement Egypt. All in coast there. You know, North Africa, but they complement Egypt. So a good way they face and can, where they can explore, can see riches. And make some of them where they get a chance to go back. They say that place, we need to go there back, for go conquer them people there. We see money there. From Egypt now to go down the Nile River. They make sure say they whack up away. Now let we continue. So the black and brown people them, we start they take them. They don't understand so now, you know, people them really they exist. The black and brown people them, they be pull them from Darfur. Now Darfur they go take the black slaves them from. You know? So the Libyan people they also be there. The black people then they pull them from Darfur. The white money around Europe and Asia. You know? So then just be they take all man. And not be they spare nobody. And the slave dealer them, the one day where they sell the slaves them. Now the one day where they are the upper Egypt. So once they classify upper, maybe the upper class. Because they get upper and lower Egypt. So the one day when they are the upper Egypt, and then they go, you know, capture the slaves they are first and kind and go and sell them. And that's where they take place. So the two Anglo-Egyptian conventions them, what they be make of 1877 and of 1895 for suppressed slavery. For suppressed slavery. The two Anglo-Egyptian convention. A convention means something we try to discuss, a meeting take place. Say this slave mentality we need for eradicate them, we need for stop them, we need for suppress them. So that take place around 1877 to 1895. It said so during the last 2 decades of the 19th century, the impediment of slavery vanished. You know, the barriers them, the conflicts them, or whatsoever of slavery begin to disappear. But not forget, say at the same time, you know, small but important, you know, sections them of the Egyptian people they are. You know, the attitude don't begin to change. You know, they don't begin to change because most of them also don't live in Europe. They don't associate with the Europeans them, and that also don't influence them. So they practice this slavery concept. You know, still, even though they don't talk to them for eradicate them or whatsoever, but it's still gone. It's still gone. And I go tell you now, say, if we young people and they go inside Kuwait, Dubai, Egypt, Iraq, etc., they go work. Right now, they go suffer. Now called the civilized slavery. Now a willingness for go sell yourself as slave. At the same slavery concept or mentality they go on. All people in the left now, they go in their countries there for go work. You know, if you know somebody there, now Kuwait, you know, Iraq or whatsoever, you talk to them. You know, they tell you how they can work. You go know say ben as slavery work that they do. For survive no more. So mortal man, when you force mortal man say, can't work for me by force, you know, and they rebel. But them, they can accept for go sell themselves. They can able abuse them now because they engage themselves to you willingly. For you abuse them. So you see how the slavery concept is going there. Even inside Saloya, slavery still going inside Saloya. We get some people there where they men certain picking them, we still abuse them. You know? Sometimes some man, because of certain condition, they go find one Brahman and say, "Bra, I'm ready for the under you. Anything where you want to do, any work where you want, I'm ready for doing for you." Even though you not get any benefits there. They don't sell himself to that man there or that person there as a slave. He don't sell himself as a slave. So you go to work like jackass. Anyway, any two other person wants and follow you, go to do it. So the slavery concept's not done it too. And not stop it. And just they promote and they continue. In a civilized manner. In a civilized manner. So today I want to make Luna be assured say the white man they must we, but we don't must them before. And most of them thinks they are war with experience. Now we the blacks then start them. And now we the blacks then force the ancient Egypt. Now we first inhabit Egypt. Until then conquerors they are, or then conquest they are take place, will make we migrate. You know? So history also tell you say the ancient Egyptians then began certain practice. And we people in Africa, they still they practice that method up to now. They try to communicate to the dead. Talk to the ancestors. All this now we don't believe what the white man the first follow eradicate. Up to now they want to make people forget say we believe standing. You know? They want to implement the Bible to we. But even the Bible, we identify the idea from. Now from we again. The concepts all come out from we. So feel proud of yourself as black man. You know, not ever put your head down when you face the white man. Not ever make that white man feel like say superior past you because you better pass up. In the eyes of Allah, we all equal. But if they want to talk about superiority, we have first conquer the world. Now with the black man. So no matter how they conquer me right now, Tango we go conquer them back. Because the world now is cycle. Today na me, tomorrow na you. So they people them be the first for conquer Egypt and call Egypt Babylon. But now the new Babylon, now the Americans. So Tango when they don't conquer the Americans again, a new place will become Babylon again. Maybe Africa will be Babylon. Well, all man back with the first for inside Africa. Once more. You know, and this trip is not going to be North Africa. It will be in the West. So now I make with people and with politicians them, with leaders them, we need for create a history museum. We need for begin to keep history. We need professors them for begin to write history. Now we begin to keep history. Right now we're there in 2021. In the year 2021, the older go then 3031 or so whatsoever. You know, let me just place a date. So long we go still remember with history. With generations them to come, they go still know about some of them with great leaders them what's not take place in the past. No, because states they will not even get a library. Not going to even talk of a history museum. Liberia then gets one. Guinea then gets one. I believe say Ivory Coast gets one. You know, Gambia then gets one. Senegal then gets one. But we salon, I don't know. If not course. Libraries and all day, history museums and all day. How they picking Angolan? How you go empower the youth? So now left now, we'll get another topic for hits later. And I hope I don't do justice to this history based on Egypt, you know, and relation to slavery. You know? And when I know say it's still a continue. So Lord try for wise up again, and Lord will not make sure say history continue for repeat itself, for create a change, for reform Africa. You know, the protectorates, the colonial masters them, they still the super we. They still the mash up we. They still the instigate we. Now boy again once more Charles Muslims the servants aka Bepeko.